Hello. So I'm going live here because I was telling you guys that I was going to go live and then show you the underside of the car, right? So I'm going to show you what the underside or the underhood of the car looks like. Let me show you. So when you get this electric car, there's a option in the front on the side that tells you to click it twice. Once you click it twice, it's going to open up all the way. I'm gonna turn the camera around so you can see what I'm talking about. So we're flipping the camera. I don't know if it's gonna let me do it with this effect on here. Let's see. Nope, it still hasn't done it yet. Let's see. I might have to take this effect off. Let's see. Of course, when I'm trying to do something, it won't work. Anyway, I think I'm gonna have to turn the whole phone around. So let me see now. I'm gonna have to stop it and come back because I don't know why it's not doing it, and I have no idea how to take this fucking effect off. No effect. Okay, awesome. So this is how the car looks when you look at it. So I believe this thing here is like the engine part. When you open up the car, this is how it looks, right? And this is a little foot thing that you use to open it. And it says times 2 because you gotta click it twice. Otherwise, you cannot open this car. So it tells you all the shit you gotta do here, emergency stuff. This is one of those, like power steering fluid, something like that. And then you have the windshield wiper fluid. Mine is kind of low. I'm gonna have to fill this up at some point today. And you'll see right here, this is part of GM, right here. So you can tell that this is definitely not all Honda. So GM is here. GM is on other parts of the car. You have the radiator thing there, the fan, all that stuff. Like I said, I'm letting everybody see what's underneath the hood so they can see what this car looks like. So instead of your engine here, with all the cylinders and all that stuff, you don't have that. This is the box here with all the cable shit in it. All of those fuses and stuff. Mind you, anybody who is smart and has a car should know how to open up all this shit. I believe this is another fluid thing up here at the top. That is a secondary battery here. This is the bigger one. What else is in here? This down here is part of that panel thing. I'm gonna try and show you the under part of this car. Mind you, this is not gonna be really easy to do. But underneath here are those panels. The car is sitting on panels. That's what this underside is. You probably can't see it that well. But that's what all that stuff is down there. But like I said, I told y'all that I would show you the car while hiding some things because everybody's nifty and crafty and it seems like everything is a scan, which makes it easy. But if you're not smart, people will just pause your stuff and start scanning shit for themselves. But that is how the underside of this car is. There's a battery. There's this engine thing here, which is not like a real engine. meaning that there's not cylinders, there's no oil. I don't do oil changes in this car. I think a little further back might be, is there an alternator in here? There's something all the way back there in the back. Like I said, I could look through the manual, but this is not supposed to be a very long ride. So we have that. What else? Showed you the battery, power steering fluid, windshield wiper fluid, the fan, which is running because the car is running. What else is down here? One of those crossbars or whatever. I think that's about it. That's about it that I know. I can just tell you off the hand. I don't think there's any timing belt or serpentine belt and all that stuff. What else is underneath here? Because I believe that's more like for the engine, because I don't see any belts or anything anywhere. There's a lot of cords and shit like that underneath this hood. But I think that's it. So you saw the underside of the car. You saw the hood, all that stuff. This little thing that makes the hood open. You have to do it twice, otherwise this car does not open for you. So I did charge the car earlier this morning. I charged the car at about a little bit after 3 a.m. or something like that. Currently the car is 103 miles. 103 miles is not really that bad. I even got asked by a cop today, how many miles does this car usually get on a full tank? And the estimated amount is going to be at least 300 miles is what you get on this car when it's all the way full. When it's all the way full, you get about that. You should at least get 300 miles. If you get less than 300 miles, something is wrong. So you get your 300 miles, but really it's probably like I believe this thing says 343 is what the exact mileage is, but that all depends on what it is when I go and charge this car. Now, the car, usually the lowest I get it when I'm driving around and paying attention. At about 30 miles, I start to say, hey, yo, I really need to go charge this car. Meaning that whatever I'm doing to make the money to charge it, I need to stop and go and redeem my money and go ahead and get it charged. Now, mind you, like I've been saying all the time, this car, to me, is relatively low to fill up. You cannot fill up a Honda CR-V and a Honda Passport, Pilot, whatever the hell you want to call it, for the amount of money that I'm spending in electric. Electric is obvious, what do you want to call it? A fun thing for some people, but when you are somebody who is doing this for real, like, you know, I really sit in front of charge things like they're my new house, you know, it's not that fun because you now have to find something to occupy your time for the next 45 minutes or more, or maybe at most 45 minutes, which means these lives occupy my time, things like that occupy my time. Reading a book, planning out my day, that's what I do for 45 minutes or up to 45 minutes because that is what I have decided to do in my time, to kill my time. If and when someone decides to say, hey, I want to go ahead get this electric car, I'm going to tell you what, patience is a virtue, because if you don't have that virtue, electric car is not going to work for you. And like I've already said, I've spent about $636, give or take, between me and anybody else who is claiming to help me. Has spent $750 before that, because as of the 8th of September, I started paying and Honda stopped paying, because Honda only is going to pay for 750 credits. Between driving this car 2 days down here from Massachusetts, it cost me a lot of money. I spent the most amount. I think the most I saw on here being charged is $53. And that was probably around that time where the car almost died. That was because as soon as you kind of leave South Carolina, these charge places become few and far between. So from Massachusetts to about South Carolina, there are tons of charge places. They're almost everywhere you can think of. They're off the highway. They're around here, and they're good ones. Now, once you hit South Carolina and you go a little further and get to Georgia, they start to be real harem-scarum. They're usually in some main city town. Now, if you don't know Georgia very well, Georgia is really big and really vast, and electric cars are not a hot item. Okay, because finding these charge ports in Georgia is very fun, meaning it's not fun. Once you get to Florida, though, it starts to get a little bit better. But once you get past Orlando, it starts to get a thing where it's like gas stations only. You're not going to find them everywhere. So I've kind of like had to plan out, even down here in South Florida, it's been very, very interesting, trying to find a charge place. But I have a few that I always go to because they're my go-to. I can't go anywhere else. But after that, you have to be someone who plans out your day around the charge ports. Now, some places are getting better, but they're really not getting that much better, because can you imagine going to Wawa and there's only 4 people at a time that can fill up their gas tank? That's kind of what happens. If you don't own a Tesla, you are going to be in those situations where there's only 4 people that can charge at a time. 2, 3, one of them is probably guaranteed to not work. That is ridiculous. I can't even remember any places that had like 8, 9, 10 of them. Like, that just doesn't exist, like, unless you're in a Tesla, which is why if you have money, fine, but get that adapter if you don't have a Tesla, because that will save you a lot of headache, because Tesla is nearly everywhere, like Wawa, like Mobile, like Chevron, like everything else. So I would not ever tell somebody who I know has low patience to get an electric car, because I can guarantee you they're going to sell it. They're going to bring it back to the dealership. They're going to be on here like TikTok complaining and saying, like, and that's not even what it's really about. But we're going to switch gears, because this live is also about my coloring book that I've been more into selling more. So I wanted to just go over it real fast. Now, this is a coloring book. This is the first one that I have made, right, as a binding. So I've been telling people about it. It's all over my Instagram before it got hacked. It's all over there. This is a coloring book of inspiration. I made up the whole title. I made up the whole name. These images are all AI created. I put in the effort to get them out here. So you have a coloring that I did this whole thing myself. This is how it looks when you use marker. When you buy this, it does not bleed through. Okay, this one is going for about $15.99 or $15 even if you Zelle or Venmo or any of those kind of things. Cash App already has an included fee, because people like to be a little bit shicey on Cash App and deny charges and stuff, and I can't do that. This is one that my son did. Mind you, he is 9 years old now. He is not going to color in the lines too well. He did this one too, so I just wanted to show that one off. There is another size. I have this size here, and mind you, it is stocks because I haven't really sold it yet. This is the booklet. Now, mind you, when you do get these booklets, these are $10.99. These booklets will be an example of what you're getting. Now, the booklets are smaller, as you can see. They will have the title on them. $10.99. Now, I have another one, which is another booklet, which is a little bit bigger than this. I'm going to pull that one out. And this is the booklet that is similar to what you just saw, but the booklet is what? Bigger, like the bound. This one is going for about $13. Okay, same thing, some of the same pictures, but that other smaller booklet has different pictures. It does not have the same one, hence it doesn't have the same cover. So I thought that I would go ahead and let you know about it. Same thing, all these images I made. They are not copy and pasted. You cannot just reproduce them unless you take a picture and start doing it yourself. I actually have all the proof that I've made this stuff from the beginning. I am paying an AI machine to do this. Like, these are not something that you can just copy and paste. Like, I have all of the prompts for this. So please, 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 if you are one of these people who are an AI creator and you go into this kind of stuff, make sure that you have that as your backup, because a lot of people like to just copy and paste everything and not pay attention. So I just thought I'd get on here and get the rest of this live with this. So like I said, it's 15, 14, 13, and then 10. So you know that there are different ones, different sizes, and these are all things that I've made. So I am hopeful that I will be getting rid of more of these, but I can't get rid of them if I don't talk about them. So I'm going to start talking about them every single time I do a live. I will try to put them on my and TikTok a little more. I do have a whole Instagram in my profile. If you look, that shows all of it. You know, you're just seeing it in your hands, what I have on deck to give away when people purchase. So I'm hoping everybody has a good rest of their day. I got to go out here and do my side hustle. And trust me, I am entering myself into that side hustle contest on TikTok. I am hopeful, but once there's a contest, everybody goes crazy. So I'm going to see how I do, but there's obviously something that I'm doing to keep on looking the way I look, besides the other person helping me, who obviously is paying for the bigger bills. But I am a bill myself, and I have to pay for that bill because that's just how I was raised. So I hope everybody has a great day. It's Tuesday, right? Monday was ridiculous, but at least Wednesday will start the new month of October, and I'm looking forward to October because I have a lot of good stuff coming that is already a yes and ready to go. I don't have to worry about anybody wishing bad on it because it's already a yes. It's already going. You know, it's not something anybody can stop. You know, so I hope everybody has a great day, and thank you for everybody who joined, who saw the live. I will be reposting this live. I usually don't always repost because it takes a lot of time for these videos. The longer they are, for me to repost them. But I hope you have a great day. See y'all later.